Again, Debra will share what she's learned about web marketing in her role as marketing director at Concast Metal Products, including the design approach, content strategy, search optimization of the company website, using social media, compatibility with mobile devices, and how the content differs from a regular website. And what you need to know about apps. She'll cover quite a bit of ground today, and we're glad to have her. So during the presentation, feel free to send your questions to Debra by using the Questions tab on your webinar toolbar. I will gather those at the end of the presentation and read them to Debra. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Debra Beevers from Concast Metal Products. Take it away.
Thank you, Wes, and good afternoon, everyone, and TGIF. I hope you all enjoyed nice weather this week. In Ohio, we actually enjoyed record-breaking temperatures all week, so that was really nice. I'd like to thank each of you for joining us today, and I'd especially like to thank Wes and the CAPSA organization for inviting me to present today. Wes warned me that this thing can be a little slow. All right. Oh shoot, Wes, what happened?
Hold on, is it not moving for you?
No, you might have to drive.
Okay, hold on one second. There we go. Did that move?
Yes. Okay.
All right. Sorry about that, folks.
That's fine. Today we're going to talk about web-based marketing. Specifically, the topics will be your company website, social media platforms, and mobile web. And there, you probably already know and have been exposed to, there's a lot of buzz about these topics and a lot of information out there to choose from. When I was preparing this, I couldn't believe to pick from. So, all right, Wes, am I driving or are you?
Looks like I'm going to have to.
Right, you can follow along, I'm sure.
Yep.
Okay, just a little history before we get started. The above technology timeline is an estimate. I didn't research this. I really didn't feel like I needed to because I'm old enough to remember all of this and more. You know, like in the 80s, we had the fax machine, and oh, how great that was. And then in the 90s, most of us got email, and then it progressed on with websites and cell phones. And most recently, we've had social media, smartphones, and iPads. I can remember working in an office in the late 80s when there were 20 to 30 people sharing one fax machine. And as that technology became more common, the company added a fax machine for every department, and we were all so excited. So I included this information really to help us do a reality check. I think you get the point. Technology keeps evolving and changing, and it's here to stay. Okay, now the first thing we're going to talk about is your company website. During the past 10 to 15 years, most companies have indeed established a website presence with their company website. But not all websites are created equal, and I'm sure you all recognize that as you surf the web and shop and do your business. You see there's lots of different websites out there and lots of different designs and styles. But let's explore this further and talk about, according to Debra, what makes a good website. Okay? First, let's just say, why is your website so important? And we all know that it is. Your company website has two very important audiences. It has your current customers and your potential customers. For your current customers, your website serves as, or it should serve as an important resource or reference for pricing information, product specs, product offerings, news, and industry information. And for your potential customers, it's a place where they can go and access company information, product information, and it also, your company website also provides your potential customers with a non-aggressive way to find out more about you. And actually, I think nowadays most people learn about your company before they even contact you and decide that they want to engage in conversation about doing business with you. So remember, your website stands ready 24/7 to represent your company around the globe to potential customers. So what makes a good website? There are 4 elements that I believe make up a good website, and they are design, content, optimized for search, or sometimes we'll call SEO, search engine optimization, and mobile ready. The first one is design. When we think of website design, our thoughts may first go to that first visual aspect of the site. When you look at it, is it pleasing to the eye? Is it exciting to look at? And while this is very important, we all know that, design also refers to images, which are very important on your website when you're trying to sell products. Design, it also refers to grouping of information, how you group different items together, different pieces of information together. And design also is about navigating and how easy is it for the user to navigate. I want to talk about images for a second and how important they are. I realize that most people that are on this call are involved with either making or selling metal. And sometimes, you know, metal is not always cosmetically attractive. I mean, we think it is, but it's not your typical retail item. But I think it's important when you're designing your website and you want it to be very effective for the viewer. I think it's important to really consider getting a really good commercial photographer and trying to make your product look very interesting. And you may actually need to sort of extract that product from your plant or warehouse or the shop environment and try to arrange that in a way that makes that image very interesting, because that will very much enhance your website. If you haven't seen Concast's website, I think you'll find that to be true. We spend a lot of time trying to make our metal look very interesting. Okay, the second thing we're going to talk about that makes a good website is content. And, you know, they say everything's bigger and better in Texas. Well, more is not better, always better when it comes to content. Content is extremely important. However, the quality of the content and the relevancy of the content is just as important as the quantity that you have and the number of pages that you have. You don't want to just see how many pages you can get if they're not relevant. Also, it's very, very important that your website be dynamic and always be changing. You should, you know, don't ever think, oh, we've got our new website done. It's finished. It's over. It should never be finished. It should always be changing. And one thing that will help you get website traffic actually is to keep it fresh and current and to always have it changing. And the third thing we're going to talk about that makes a good website is optimized for search, or SEO. The goal for search engine optimization is to always drive traffic to your website and to do it better than your competition. You want them to find you first, basically. To do that, you need to identify and apply keywords and phrases. And most of you may be engaged in this, or you've certainly heard about SEO. Another way to optimize your SEO for your website is to connect links from third-party industry sites, like if you advertise on the CAPSA, for the CAPSA newsletter or the CAPSA site, or maybe your name and website is on the CAPSA site as a member. That's a third-party industry site or link that can send people to your website, and that's another way to increase your website traffic. Just talking a little bit more about search engine optimization. The goal for search engine optimization and for paid ads or pay-per-click, which you can also use, is to increase web traffic, to increase lead generation, that's what it's all about, to improve your branding, to increase sales revenue, and to talk about product or event promotion. Once your website is mature and you're getting good traffic flow results organically or naturally, you can probably keep your paid ads to a minimum. However, you may want to keep paid ads active until you have your website fully optimized and developed. I still think, you know, even after you have a mature website, you can still utilize the paid ads for specific product launches or promotions. So I think you can get carried away with the paid ads. When we were building our new website, we had a lot of paid ads out there. Now, once our website was up and mature, and we saw our website traffic, you know, improving every month, and our rankings improving every month, which we were watching, then we cut back. We're only using now 1/3 of dollars on the paid ads as what prior to our new website. So you kind of need to pay attention to those things and use the paid ads only when necessary. Other forms of content to drive search results, as we've already talked about, your website content is very important in driving strong search results. You can also use videos, blogs, newsletters. CAPSA uses e-newsletters. They have that format that they did even for this webinar, to announce this webinar. It's a type of e-newsletter. Webinars, which we're doing, publications, and social media. All of these things help drive traffic to your website, and they're all very important. And they're all really linked, and we're talking about all of those today. This chart just illustrates how you can use an article on your website to drive, or industry news, you know, sort of a progression. You can post an industry article or press release on your website under news. We're posting one today because we had an article in Modern Metals about our new drawn product. So I'm posting that, or I'm having that posted to our website today under information and news. I will then take that link from the website and I'll post it on the company Facebook page. Well, I have my Facebook page linked up with my Twitter page for Concast, so then that's automatically going to transfer over to the Twitter page. So the link from Facebook and Twitter sends traffic to the website, because when they hit that link on either Facebook or Twitter, they're going to go right back to our website to read that article in full. So it's just kind of a loop, and all these things can be linked together, and all of these social media platforms help drive traffic to your website. And remember, that's the goal, because that is your marketing, your website is your marketing foundation. That has the most information on about your history, your company, your products, your services. So really the goal, one of the main goals in using social media is to drive people to your website. And the fourth thing that we're going to talk about that makes a good website is your website mobile ready. If you have a smartphone, a mobile device, or a mobile device, you have probably already downloaded a number of different apps. Just this week, I downloaded an app that was offered to me through my local bank. While doing so, I went through a number of screens and approvals and entered my username and password for my online banking account. This is not what we are talking about here. Mobile ready just means that when you enter a website like the www.concast.com, if you do it from your smartphone, your iPad, or a tablet, the information you will view will be different than if you were sitting at your desk on your laptop or your desktop computer. The information will be in a friendlier format that is more suited for a mobile device. And we'll actually demonstrate that just a little bit later. Just going back to the slide, mobile ready. It's not an app, but mobile friendly, able to be viewed on multiple devices, and simplified content and navigation, just to summarize that. Next slide. Remember, if someone is on the internet searching for your products and they don't find you, they are finding someone else. And you know who that is. It's your competition. So I would encourage all of you to go key in your top 30 keywords or phrases that your company is offering. Key it in Google search and see if your company comes up. If it doesn't, then you have some work to do to optimize your website with regards to search engine optimization, and that is very important. The internet functions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And remember, your website is your online marketing foundation, and it offers constant communication to every viable prospect in the world. So it's very important. Now we're going to talk about social media platforms. One of my favorite topics. Today, the four that we're going to focus on the 4 primary social media platforms used for most social media strategy, and they are Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And when you click, I think, yeah, there they go. Now that Wes is clicking for me, he didn't realize we were going to have a little bit of animation here. Okay, Facebook is for people you know. Twitter is for people you want to know. And LinkedIn is for professional people you're connected to. Just a little something to remember if you're not already familiar with these social media platforms. Okay, now just a little bit of social media 101. Next slide. What is social media? It's an umbrella term that defines the various activities that integrate technology, social interaction, and the construction of words, pictures, videos, and audio. That's according to Wikipedia. It's the use of web-based and mobile technologies to allow interactive communication between you and your friends and your customers. Okay, more marketing facts. The world population is almost 7 billion. There are 195 countries and 7 continents. Traditional forms of networking with large groups is becoming harder, more expensive, and less fruitful. Traditional forms of media outlets such as television, print publications, and radio are not as attractive to younger consumers. And we have Generation Y in the workforce as well. So that's important to remember. Next slide. Here are 5 reasons for you to be social, for your company to be social. 3 out of 4 Americans use social media. 2/3 of the global internet population visit social media network sites. 93% of social media users believe that a company should have social media presence. 79% of American adults use the internet. I don't think that's very surprising. But 59% of internet users use at least one social network site. If you haven't made the decision to be social, it's still not too late. It's fast, it's easy, it's free, and it's not as difficult as you might think. Okay, now we're going to talk about Facebook. If Facebook were a country, it would be the 3rd largest country in the world. What started out as a way for college students to communicate with each other from one campus to the other has just grown to this largest social networking platform. More than 800 million users, adding more than 200 million in a single year. Facebook offers fan pages for businesses. With that, I would just like to say, if you want one for your business, you don't have one. You just need to have someone needs to have a personal account, and then you can, as the administrator, set up a fan page for your business. And you can have more than one administrator. And if you do set up, if you can go back to that, Wes, if you do set up a Facebook page, you just need to make sure that you pay attention to frequency, content, and balance. You can mix this up don't be concerned that you don't think you have anything to say. Put your products and services out there and some good images. If you don't have anything to say, then don't say anything. But when you do, just remember to keep a good balance, kind of a three-way balance between your products and services and company promotional information. Industry information is the second part, and the third part, some human interest information, such as maybe pictures of your employees or company or community activities. The reason balance on the content is so important, if you make your Facebook page all about your company, promotional, rah-rah, here's how great we are, buy from us, people are kind of sick of reading it. But if you offer that as another resource tool, and maybe put, oh, how much copper went up this month, or where copper's at, or something about imports or exports, or something like that that people in the industry can actually learn from, they'll go there more often. And if you have a little human touch to it, that makes it more interesting as well. I like looking at Facebook pages for people I do business with and seeing their employees at a trade show or something like that. I just enjoy, you can see faces, people from their company. So, okay, Facebook. Here are some companies that I personally follow on Facebook, and I'm sure that you will recognize many of them. Who hasn't heard of Eaton, Parker, Sloan, Delta, Moen, then some industry associations, American Fire Sprinkler, American Society of Plumbing Engineers, Kohler Company, American Standard, some other metals companies, CDA, DMPA, ASTM. I mean, if you think nobody's using it, this list, and I mean, I just picked out people that are in this related industry, at least, what we're all in, and people that you would recognize. I love to see the new products posted on Facebook by Kohler, Sloan, Delta, and Moen. I'm going to turn my printer off. Well, maybe not. Somebody started printing from another office. You can be part of this discussion if you are a fan on one of these pages. Your customers are sharing company and product information on Facebook. Are you watching? If not, I think you should engage in that. The next thing we'll talk about is Twitter. Twitter is like a mini blog or microblogging. In fact, you're only allowed 140 characters per tweet. 100 million people are active users of Twitter. Twitter is a quick way to release information. You just release a little bit of information, but it has a huge audience. These little messages or microblogging have the potential to reach a very big audience very fast. You can learn and discover what other companies are doing, and here again you pay attention to frequency, content, and balance. I would encourage you to be present wherever an industry conversation is taking place. I don't tweet every day for Concast. I may go days without tweeting, but I like to get on there and read what Caterpillar is saying. Can we go to the next slide? This will give a list of people I follow on Twitter. Here again, you've got Moen, Honda. There are a few new ones on here like Caterpillar that are not on Facebook, but I mean, I think you get the point. It's good. You can read the same if they're releasing financial information from a public company. You can get that same information in other publications. You can read the Wall Street Journal or whatever. But it's really a very fast, easy, quick way to get these little snippets of information that they want you to know. So I'm sure here again that you recognize a lot of these. So I encourage you to be part of any industry conversation and to listen, learn, and discover. Next, we'll talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn allows users to socialize with other professionals. There are 135 million active users, and it breaks it down here, how many in North America and how many in Asia Pacific. In the past year, participation on LinkedIn has grown dramatically. I imagine many of you listening today are signed up and hopefully active on LinkedIn. It's the opportunity to share company information and participate in industry discussions. I say that share company information because you can have a personal LinkedIn account, but your company can also have a presence on LinkedIn as well. If you are new to social media, LinkedIn is actually a very good place to start. In the past year, the professionals participating on LinkedIn has grown from 37% to 55%. So over half of the professionals that you know are using this social media platform. Remember, you can establish yourself and your business on LinkedIn. LinkedIn offers a variety of activities, including I see people engage in like group conversations and topics, like chat rooms discussing certain things. I've seen people ask, looking for certain products on there, industry discussions, job openings, material inquiry. So LinkedIn is actually a very good social media platform. The next thing that we're going to talk about is YouTube. YouTube was founded in 2005, and YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. You can use YouTube as an educational and informational how-to tool. And, you know, if you're on YouTube, hopefully you've seen that. These faucet manufacturers have how-to videos on there, how to install a new faucet, and there's how to set up a fence. I mean, there's all kinds of things. And, you know, people remember more of what they see than what they read. So really, that's a really useful approach to put the how-to videos on there. You can also use YouTube as the host of your videos, which Concast does. Concast has a YouTube channel. It's free. We have 7 videos posted on there. Those videos are also, they're housed on YouTube, but they're also posted on the Concast website. So you can do that as well. Next slide. And just to bring that point out further, talking more about cross-promoting, this chart demonstrates how YouTube can drive traffic to your website. You post a video on YouTube. Then you post the YouTube video link on your website. You can then copy that link from the website and post it on Facebook. Have your Facebook page linked up to Twitter. We talked about this a little earlier. The link from Facebook and Twitter sends traffic back to your website. So it's just like a circle. But, you know, this is how you can cross-promote all these different sites. Okay, what's new? Well, what's new is Google+. It's a new social media network, relatively new. Users are just now getting established on it. Concast has established a Google+ site, but I would not say that we are fully utilizing it yet. We're there, but I don't know all the ins and outs of Google+ yet. Here's what they boast, that it creates communities around interests and followers are sorted into groups or circles. There are 625 new users to Google+ every day. So, I mean, right there, you know that's huge. 30% of industrial professionals have already created Google+ accounts. I would say if any of you are actively using Google+, I would like to hear about it. Maybe you contact me later and let me know what your experience is, because that's a social media platform that I'm just starting to use and can learn more about. Okay, next slide. Just some tips about social media. As we've already talked about, cross-promote all of your networks if you're involved in several. Post interesting, relevant content. Ask questions, get people to comment and engage. That's social media is supposed to be interactive. Post a variety of content, including photos and videos, to make it more interesting. And this is important. This is an important tip. If you're not active, if your company is not active on the social media platforms, I would recommend to you to go out there and set up an account and reserve your name, even if you don't invite anybody or publicize it or whatever, because you should reserve your company name. Anybody could go out and do that. There's no, you know, like domain rights or whatever. So whether you're active or not, I would encourage you to do that. Okay, next slide. How can your company benefit from social media? It personalizes your company by sharing events and activities. You can share and discover current market information and trends. It also adds another layer of branding to your marketing efforts. It allows you to connect with your customers and audience in an interactive way. And it drives traffic to your website. Social media helps you establish a relationship with your customers beyond an order or an order number. Ask questions. Start conversations. Engage your target audience. Social media is great, but here's what social media does not replace, okay? It does not replace your company's vision, your company's mission, your strategic planning. It certainly does not replace quality products or good customer service. All businesses should have a presence in the digital world, and most of you already do for sure with the website. But if you are not participating at this time in social media, you should at least establish an account, as we said before, to reserve your company name and identity. Okay? And what social media is not. Social media is not a fad. So if you're waiting for it to go away, and you're one of those hangers-on that's waiting to jump in, it's not going to go away. It's not a fad, and it's not just for young people. Social media does not replace traditional marketing and business development, although it can be a part of your overall business development strategy. And the last thing we're going to talk about today is mobile web. Mobile marketing is increasing in relevance and importance. The use of smartphones, iPads, and tablets means that prospects and customers are accessing information on the go and not just while they're sitting at their desk. So I say, ready, set, be mobile ready. This is just a screenshot of our primary, Concast has two websites. This is our primary website. This is what you see when you log on to the Concast website when you're sitting at your desk. And the next screen, not seen in public before, this is the mobile view of the Concast website for when you are using a smartphone or iPad. This mobile view allows you to see simplified content and navigation. This is a new feature that we are just now offering that has just become available this week. So you can say you heard it here first. This is our secondary website, the Green Alloys website, and this is a screenshot from that. And the next slide you will see our mobile ready view for the Green Alloys website. And so now if you log on to either of those two websites from a mobile device, you'll get the mobile ready format. My final thought for the day: if people are talking about your company, it means that you are relevant. So I would encourage all of you, be relevant, be present, and be social.
All right, is that the end of it, Deborah?
Yep, next slide just gives my contact information, and I would like to thank everyone for attending the webinar today, and thank you for your attention, and I hope everyone has a great weekend.
You bet. Hey, and if you have questions now, go ahead and send those in, again, using your question tab on your toolbar. And Deborah, have you explored this notion or this idea of content marketing? When you mentioned the blogs where you're out there keeping your news and your topics and your information on that blog, have you learned anything about that? Or
yeah, content marketing and search engine marketing and search marketing and SEO, there's kind of some overlap there, Billy, with the content marketing.
Right.
I mean, it kind of, I think, feeds into a lot of what we talked about today.
Right. It sounds like it could be one more part of that circle you had mentioned earlier, where you've got YouTube to Facebook to Twitter to blog to website. It might just be one more way to link back to a website. And it's also another way to get maybe some more of your employees or your leadership team involved, where they can go to a simple blog and throw 150 words out there for people. It's
I agree.
Nice,
the blogs, we are not participating with blogs at this time or the white papers, but there's certainly people in our industry and members of CAPSA that have a lot to offer technically that could certainly do that.
Yeah.
And, you can blog, but then there are also blog sites that would take you back to your website, so you can also cross-promote there.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
To see more of that in our industry, we're not doing it yet.
Right. I think from the association's perspective, we do have a lot of members that we could have a lot of contributions from. It's probably something we're going to explore too. So, but if there are any more questions, anybody have a question for Debra today? Looks like nothing has come in quite yet, but as you can see right there on the screen, there's her contact information. If you're like me, you'll probably think of something after the webinar, and it looks like we may have a question coming in here real quick. What is your Twitter handle, Debra, for Concast?
We have two, because you got to reserve your name. For Twitter, we have Concast Metal and Green Alloys.
All right.
If you put that in, you should come up with us. And of course, Debra Beevers has one too, but that may not be as interesting. But and then we have two Facebook pages. We have Concast Metals and then Green Alloys by Concast.
All right.
And then our company's also on LinkedIn. We try to cover all of the bases. You don't have to use all those all the time every day, but it's just good to have them. Right. And I'm always looking for information to put on Facebook, and then it automatically goes over to Twitter.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
You can retweet stuff or copy a link from I go to CDA and copy links, put it on Facebook, then it automatically goes to Twitter. So you should always be looking at marketing industry information to share to whoever's following you. And Wes, I didn't mention this earlier, but what's neat is some of the people in the industry that are now following Concast. I mean, like these big companies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not saying that they're expecting us to, have some big revelation for them, but it's nice to see that, it goes back and forth. And I've posted things that have been retweeted. That's how you actually get a lot of people listening to you and following you, is for somebody big to retweet something you say. But anyway.
Just to answer a couple of questions that have come in myself, I pushed record and everything appears to be working, and I will post this webinar on copper-brass.org. That's the CAPSA homepage. I'll post this probably next week. So there's a couple of questions I've received, and we got a few more that came in, Debra. So how can you connect or rate sales generated from web traffic? Have you been able to quantify that, I guess?
Well, if you get into social media thinking that you're going to be able to quantify, the ROI, that's going to be difficult. But I will tell you that since we have our new website and we're doing more of the web-based marketing, our inquiries have gone up significantly.
Right. More eyes on your products, that can't be a bad thing,
yeah,
right?
I mean, and maybe our website's more user-friendly, but our inquiries have gone up a lot. And I'll tell you something else, what people need to think of. I mean, what's the ROI on putting a salesperson in a car, sending them out on the road to visit people and buy steak dinners? I mean, there's a cost associated with that, and what's the ROI on that every time,
Right.
So the traditional ways are also expensive, and, I don't know if you can, accurately track that, but, for the most part, web-based marketing, other than a good website, as we all know, costs money, but social media is not expensive. For the most part, it's free.
Right.
So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that was great. do you have any recommendation or target that you have as far as frequency in posting, tweeting,
You know,
etc.?
I really don't, because I don't want to take that approach. I don't want to say something on a schedule just to be saying it. You know, it's like having a phone and thinking you have to use it every day or every hour or something, you know.
Right.
It's a tool, and so no, you know, everybody's busy, everybody has priorities, so it's not my main focus every day. But, you know, I try to, on a regular basis, see if there's something, you know, like we're being published in Modern Metals. That, as soon as I've asked for that link to be posted under the news on our website, I can't wait till that happens, because I'm going to grab that link, put it on Facebook, it'll then go over to Twitter, and those things are really exciting when you really have something you want to share. We're getting ready to share that we have the mobile ready you know, format for the mobile devices. So I hope your company has something to talk about, and if you do, it makes it easier. But if there's a day or week goes by and you don't have anything that you really need to share, then it's fine not to share it. But you know what? Your other purpose, it's really a twofold purpose for being present, is that your customers are saying something and you need to be listening. Yeah. So, you know, it's not just you having something to say, but you know, if Kohler's posting, here's our new product, what do you think about it? You know, you need to be saying, I love it, or clicking like or something, you know. So it's not just about what you have to say, but it's also listening, learning, and discovering.
Right. Well, here's a good one.
Uh-oh.
How do you suggest overcoming the perception of upper management who think that social media is just for personal entertainment purposes?
Have them watch this webinar. Maybe that would help.
There you go. Send them the link. Yeah.
You know what, Art? We have 3 goals, and I used a couple of them in this webinar. We have 3 goals with regard to web-based marketing here at Concast. Mm-hmm. And that is to be relevant. So, I mean, you're not going to post a picture of something that's not, you know, relevant. We want to be relevant, we want to be present, and we want to be first. So, you know, it's happening. It's not going away. So, yeah. You know, you can be involved in that industry conversation, or you don't have to be present. But
I think those 3 things were present before social media ever was. So
right. So.
Mm-hmm. How much is too much in regard with tweets?
You know, people that tweet personal tweets, you know, listen. I mean, we've all heard these horror stories of these celebrities and people tweeting every time they go in a restaurant and this and that. I have a personal Twitter account. I don't tweet very linked up with my Facebook account because I'm not a business. So, and some things I put on Facebook I don't want tweeted. So, but with a company, you're safe with doing that because there shouldn't be anything on there that you wouldn't want tweeted. But I honestly, with tweeting, I would be somewhat conservative. I mean, you don't want to share everything that's going on at your company. You just want to share that word relevant, you know, comes into play. So it's a tool. It's not something that, you know, you can have a car in your garage. You don't have to drive it every day. So, I mean, it's just a tool. And so you don't have to go crazy on it and be tweeting all the time. You know, I do the tweeting from Concast, and if you look, it's not a lot. It's, you know, it's regular, but it's not a lot. If I have something to say, we say it. We have something to share, we share it. So absolutely. I wouldn't get hung up on, I would be more conservative, though, than liberal on the tweet.
Right.
I think you could probably overdo it, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think there's still the same type of decorum you would keep even with the old school press release and the company announcements before social media. Obviously, you don't say everything, you know. So listen,
on Facebook or Twitter, you want to talk about the same things you would talk about if a customer's visiting and sitting in the conference room. I mean, there are certain topics you don't talk about in a business setting. And I'm not even going to say what those, two of them are religion and politics.
Yeah, there you go.
So, no, so just don't, honestly, I don't very often state anything of a personal nature on there. I mean, you can say it's leap year. I did that on the green side, or don't forget to set your clocks back, or when there was NASCAR on Sunday night. But let me tell you, not very often. You want a little bit of that personal thing in there, but not very much. You
Right.
really want more to be about either your company, directly promotional products and services, or industry information. Every once in a while, slip in something so they know there's a human on the other end. But I would, you kind of got to keep that in check.
All right. Now, there's another interesting question. Did you set up a team that meets to organize and run the social media part of your marketing program?
No, we didn't. We attended a seminar 2 years ago with the president of our company, and he, as I said, he wants to be first and present. So we just decided to do it. I set those up myself. Facebook is now going in to a new thing called Timeline, and if you have Facebook, you would know what that means. So I am having an outside person for just a very little bit of money help me to do what they call the vanity pictures on there so it looks nicer.
Okay.
So kind of spruce it up a little, but I've originally set them up myself, and they look fine. They look nice, but we're just kind of kicking it up a notch. But no, we didn't have a team to work on that.
I mean, like ongoing, is it just kind of part of the assignments in your department then?
Yeah, I just do it. I just do it. I mean, they trust me to use good judgment, and
There you go. Well, I think that was the last one, and just want to say thank you, Deborah. I think it's very, very generous and open of you to come out here and share what Concast is doing on social media. I think it's a great presentation and one that I think will be well received. So thank you. And you're getting all kinds of great jobs on the question.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed doing it. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to contact me directly.
Yeah, so yeah, just to close out, I'll have this out there on the CABSA website next week. There's a lot of thanks coming into the question toolbar now, Deborah, so a lot of compliments. And see everybody at the CABSA convention next week in Palm Springs. That is all for today. Thank you.